Hello, this is Cindy from Cindy's Library, back to you with another book review. And today I want to review The Moorland Cottage by Elizabeth Gaskell, which was quite enjoyable. So, The Moorland Cottage, it's basically about two families. You have what are their names? You have the Browns and you have the Buxtons. Now, Mrs. Brown, she is a recent widow, and while her husband was a vicar, they are now quite poor, although still very respectable. But they live fairly isolated lives there, she with her son and her daughter, son Edward and daughter Maggie. Mrs. Brown, she showers all her affection on Edward. Maggie gets more ignored. As for the Buxoms, Mr. Buxom is a squire, actually almost literally in the old sense of the word, having, or at least he descended from a squire in the old sense of the word, and his family is quite wealthy. And the Browns, they seem to be related, no, Mr. Brown, Vicar Brown, was Mr. Buxom's dear friend for many years until he died, and so that is the connection. He has a son, Frank, and he is raising his sister's daughter, Erminia, who is an orphan, and so the cousins are being raised as siblings. Now, because they are both genteel families, they actually get thrown together a fair amount. And so two pairs of siblings are as good as siblings growing up. Mrs. Buxom has a very good influence on Maggie and on Erminia. Edward, sadly to say, he is spoiled and only gets more spoiled as he grows up. But of course, the four do grow up, and well, I guess I can't really say that much more without spoiling things, except to say that the ending is bittersweet but satisfying, I would say. And Maggie, I love Maggie. She is a wonderful heroine. She follows Mrs. Buxom's good example, and in spite of being ignored or even berated by her own mother, she always does her best to do her duty and be helpful and cheerful and actually rather self-sacrificial for the family. So many good qualities to admire in Maggie. And I'm glad that she at least will probably get a good, happy ending eventually. Although, well, it's a bit complicated. But if you have not read The Moorland Cottage yet, it's not that long. Might start with Mr. Harrison's Confessions if you haven't read Elizabeth Gaskell yet. But if you have, this would also not be a bad place to start. And if you have read some Elizabeth Gaskell, even some of her novels, but aren't sure you're up for a novel at the moment, then I could definitely recommend this one. I think someday someone should take The Moorland Cottage here, Mr. Harrison's Confessions, and My Lady Ludlow, which I also recently finished, and mm, maybe a couple other short stories and put them all together in one book. That would be wonderful. But I'm quite enjoying Elizabeth Gaskell, so if you're looking for a Victorian author, she would be a very good one to start with, I think. So this is my thoughts on the Moorland Cottage. So until next time, feel free to leave any comments. If you've read the Moorland Cottage, I would love to hear what you think of it, or if this helps you to decide to read it. I'd also love to hear what you think about it. So until next time, hope you stay safe and healthy, and happy reading.